Hey, Cooter. Joe, check this out. There's anywhere but here, man, on this here podcast.
Oh, I like me some podcasts, man.
What y'all talking about?
We're talking about anywhere but here.
What's anywhere but here? Anywhere but here in Mississippi?
No, man, anywhere but here over in England.
Hey, we ain't in England.
I know, but that's where the England's from.
What?
Hey, Cletus, remember when we went and saw that movie about the wars in the stars and they had like lightsabers and stuff like that? Well, these people here talk about things we like.
Really?
I guarantee.
Well, hot diggity damn. What we waiting for?
Anywhere but here podcast.
Hello and welcome to Anywhere But Here this week, episode number 51.
Yes, you almost forgot. I was just about to tell you as you were turning this up, and I was like, I can't tell him.
Yeah, almost a year now. Very, very close to our special show.
Yeah, next week will be the one where we've actually been recording for a year.
Yes.
The week after is the one where we're going to celebrate it with our friends.
Yes.
As like a here's to the new year thing.
Yeah, a new broadcasting year from Anywhere But Here. So for that, we are going to be recording on a Saturday.
Yes.
Possibly in the evening, I think.
That's the thing we need to work out. We need to talk about. Because
we really do need
to. Involved are only available in our afternoon. Time. It's just Anyway, we'll get to that after we record, and we'll let people know. But it will be on the 25th.
It will.
Hopefully next week we will give you a definitive time, and we will be tweeting about it and everything as well. So, yeah. It's
going to be very exciting, I hope.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it can either go one of two. It can go one of two ways. I think it can either be brilliant and it will go on for about 2 hours, or it will be about 5 minutes long because none of the technology will work.
And that's on my head. So
well, no, I mean,
so it's all going to work perfectly.
Of course it will. Yeah, listen back to all of our episodes to find out exactly how well the technology often runs.
Episode 3.5.
Yes. In fact, most of the first 10 to 12 episodes.
Yeah.
But
that still happens now. It still happens now.
Yes,
we still forget stuff now. I meant to bring up my sticky notes. There we go. So we actually know what we're doing.
This is true. We're going to get straight into it, I think.
Yes.
There's been because we didn't really do a lot of news last week, did we?
No.
It was a catch up.
Yeah.
From the new year and before, because we hadn't done a live episode.
Yeah, we hadn't recorded for about 2 weeks.
Well, it was
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got some stuff that's happened in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've got a few bits that I wanted to talk about. I suppose big news. What big news has happened? Have you got anything that was like massive?
Mine's mainly in the world of entertainment and sports.
Yeah, mine's more HuffPost, so it's little funny things and interesting things.
Well, first off, one of the big things that happened in the first week of the new year was that Michael Schumacher, one of my heroes.
Yeah, actually, I would say one of mine, even though I'm not into Formula One. Like when I did used to watch it with my dad, it was Schumacher we were watching when he was Ferrari days. That's when we used to watch.
When he was ultimately dominant, and for some reason I didn't mind him being dominant.
No, a lot of people had a problem.
Unlike Vettel, I know. Again, it's one of those bits where like there's a German guy who's just outstripping everyone. He's just so far advanced of everyone that no one could touch him for years. I mean, he won something like I think he won 4 or 5 years on the trot.
I don't know. He was incredible. I think the thing with Schumacher, the reason like I didn't mind him and stuff like that is it doesn't matter what car you put him in.
No, that's
he
right.
He would drive well. Someone like Damon Hill, everyone loved Damon Hill, but as soon as he left Williams,
you didn't hear from him.
He was again. Like really low down in the rankings. But Schumacher was always not necessarily winning every race.
No.
You know, in a worse car, but he was up there. He was fighting for his place.
I mean, even when he went to Mercedes in his second career, if you like, because he retired and then he came back. He was still able to get like pole positions. I don't think he ever won. He hasn't won. He didn't win a race, but he was always up in the top. The top 10.
Yeah.
And that's for someone who really, for a sportsman, is quite old. He was in his late 30s, early 40s when he came back.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, people don't think of driving as a kind of fit. You got to be really fit, but he was one of the first drivers to properly to train like an athlete, because actually the temperatures that your body gets to inside those cars is really high. You got to do a lot of endurance training because you're in there for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, and it's the obviously the forces that your body's like going around the corners at those speeds and accelerating at those speeds and slowing down. like your body just gets absolutely pummeled.
Yeah,
and you're like in that tight, confined space, like you say. You've got to remove the steering wheel, and now you have to remove.
And now you've got to remove part of the cockpit,
the actual car, to get out of the car. Like you're trapped in. It's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah, it's like a claustrophobe's worst nightmare, definitely. But he had a horrible skiing accident. Just after the New Year, he was skiing in the French Alps. He was on holiday there, and he was off piste, which I believe is just off the main part of
not the well kept snow.
Yeah, it's the bit where they don't really.
It's the extreme sports sort of thing. Yeah. It's like it's not been checked for safety, and like there's loose snow. And
and in this case, one of his skis hit a rock while he was doing. They reckon that he was going at the speed of a very good skier, which is a great quote, I think.
As in, he wasn't being cautious.
No. And apparently his ski hit a rock, and his head then hit another rock. He was wearing a helmet.
Yeah,
but he is in a medically induced coma and has been for the best part of 2 weeks.
And I haven't actually heard anything recently.
This is a 4-day-old article.
But he is still in a coma.
It's saying 4 days ago that he was still in the medically induced coma. So I thought that was pretty sad. I hope that he gets better.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's obviously he's never going to be the same man again.
No,
like he's just.
No, I mean, there's no detail come out as to how. Ooh,
that would be my microphone.
Your microphone fell off. Sorry for that, folks.
That's fine. That's fine. I need to get myself a proper shot, man.
Oh, I was right. He did win 5 straight titles from 2000 to 2005. But yeah, he there's no word on whether he's brain damaged or what the extent of his injuries are. No, not a lot has come out, and I think it's probably because he's such a superstar in European motorsport.
Yes. Oh, anyway. Of course. Yeah. I mean, I would be very surprised if other people around the world haven't heard of him.
Yeah. He was incredibly. That word that I can now not think of.
I don't know where you're going with it. Sorry.
He was incredibly successful,
yes.
And he's been a great ambassador for the sport. And I think he is. I think he's 45 now, and I think.
Did I see? I thought I saw a 40 number somewhere. Yes.
But yeah, so that was a shame. I thought it's a bit sad, and they're telling people to show their support. Like people have been having vigils outside the hospital.
Oh yeah,
he's been in. They've been wearing like Ferrari colours.
That's the funny thing. He is still. People still think of him in his Ferrari.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ferrari, even though he hasn't. He's not. Is he back? He's not back with them, is he? He wasn't.
No. He went back to Mercedes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He hasn't been with Ferrari for years.
Since 2006.
I mean, that picture on the website there is him when he was with Ferrari.
Yeah, and much younger than he is now.
People laying Ferrari stuff like you're saying, wearing Ferrari stuff, and.
But that's where he won most of his championships. 94 and 95, he won with Benetton. And then he went to Ferrari in 96.
And just dominated.
And then just went on to just take it apart, really. So great career, and hopefully he'll get better.
Fingers crossed. I mean, they're keeping him in the coma to recover.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. I heard he was in a coma, and I was like, oh my God, it's kind of, it's not quite
it's a
that
medically
severe.
Induced coma. So
like, he is in a very, very bad state.
Yeah.
It's very severe, his injuries, but they put him in the coma, so obviously he rests. But yeah, fingers crossed he gets better. It is a tragic sort of situation to be in. I mean, he flies around that track over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And goes skiing for a weekend.
I think the worst he was ever injured in Formula One was a couple of broken legs. And maybe, I think he had a spinal injury once as well.
I mean, it just goes to show how far Formula One safety has come.
Yeah. Well, there hasn't been a death since Senna in 1994.
Yeah, and the worst that's happened to Schumacher is probably spinal injury, like you say.
Yeah.
But his worst injury came from skiing, which
exactly.
is just like, you just never know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's horrible. You do that as a holiday, don't you?
Yeah.
You don't expect to come away.
It's a bit of fun. You go away for the weekend.
In a medically induced coma.
Skiing's fucking dangerous.
It
Lots
is,
of
yeah.
people-
I've never been skiing myself.
No.
And I don't know
if I
whether
want
I...
to
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I don't think I've ever really fancied it, if I'm honest.
I
Maybe
always
when I was a
fancied
bit younger.
snowboarding when I was younger because
It was more like
snowboarding's
skateboarding,
cool,
yeah.
isn't it?
But I don't think I would look very cool doing it, if I'm honest.
A bit of international news. This was from the 3rd of January.
Mm-hmm.
I read on HuffPost. You know who Rob Ford is?
Yes.
The Canadian politician.
Yeah,
He's-
yeah,
what is it,
that's
meth?
the guy. Yeah, yeah. He's
The meth
been,
guy is a complete. It's just insane reading his stories. It's crazy. You don't know who
It's
he
like
is.
Boris Johnson, isn't it? If you found out Boris Johnson was on crack or something.
Yeah, he's behaving like Boris Johnson, or he's behaving like an extreme Boris Johnson. The only difference is Boris Johnson is sober, as far as we know.
We assume, yeah.
I mean, but Rob Ford is like, is it meth and cocaine?
Something like that, yeah.
Like he was crack cocaine, smoking crack cocaine.
Yeah.
But he has actually officially put himself forward for re-election. What?
How can you do that?
Like this, I mean, this is Ford officially registers for re-election. Like this guy.
Has been found and it's been proven.
People
like,
love
he's
him.
admitted to it, but maybe that's why.
Not love
Maybe-
him for what he stands for. Love
No.
him just for the pure comedy of it.
Because he's
all.
just like, yeah, fuck it. I do these drugs. I've got more pussy at home than I can shake a
I
stick
mean,
at.
he's the mayor, so it's like
Hmm.
I don't know. Does mayor have more pull in like Canada than it does over here?
I don't really know, because Boris Johnson is mayor of London, isn't he?
I suppose if you're mayor of a big city, like he's mayor of Toronto, so and that is the big city,
Hmm. Yeah.
isn't it? So like, and Boris Johnson is the mayor or is
He is still, I think. I don't
possibly
know.
mayor of London, and it's
Yeah.
like that's obviously a big role. But the mayor of Maidstone
Who cares?
shows up for events. Like, oh, there's a new hotel. I'm going to cut the ribbon.
Yeah,
Oh, there's a
yeah.
parade going through town. I'm going. It's like you know, he's got his special car or she. Sorry, because we had
We did
Denise
have a
Joy.
female one, didn't we? Yeah.
It was Denise Joy, wasn't
Yes.
it? I think,
Yeah, they have their car with the little crest on it, don't they? They drive around in.
yeah. Yeah, like if like Maidstone's mayor was called smoking crack cocaine, everyone would go, nah, sorry. But
But I don't think. I don't know. Would they be re-elected? Do you think?
no.
I
I'm very
can't-
surprised
there'd
that he's
be-
even allowed to put himself up for re-election.
Well, yeah,
I don't think
'cause-
he's actually been charged with anything. That's the thing.
Oh right. But he's pretty much out and out. Like, yep, done this.
Yeah, he admitted smoking crack cocaine eventually,
Hmm.
but like he was asked how could people trust him after admitting that. He said,
Hmm.
"My track record speaks for itself. If you want to get personal, that's fine. I'm sticking to my record, and talk is cheap. You're going to see action like you've never seen before." I mean, like
What does that even mean?
more action than you. Like this whole thing about you getting, but he's basing it on the fact he's actually done quite a lot
Yeah.
for Toronto.
Politically.
Politically.
And, yeah.
So what? He smokes crack cocaine. What do you mean? So what?
But I'm productive with it.
Yes.
I'm not going to rest on my laurels while doing my crack cocaine. I'm going to go out and raise funds, build hospitals.
This is mental. So I'm just drooling.
'Cause he
I'm
was,
absolutely salivating for this next election. Drooling.
Because of the crack
Because
cocaine,
you're fucking
maybe
off your
you're
face.
high.
It's like, this man is just insane. And I don't know. I mean, Canadians have got a really good sense of humour, so there's every possibility that he will get back in again.
I think so. It would be quite funny. Because he was also accused of having an affair, wasn't he, recently?
I'm not
And
sure.
he gave the quote. What was it?
I vaguely.
He said something to do with like, I don't need any, like, he was denying it, and then he was like, I've got all that I can eat at home.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yes. Yeah.
Which, if I were his wife, I'd be a little bit mortified.
It's like why go out for steak when you've got prime rib
Yeah,
at home?
yeah,
sort
yeah,
of
that kind of
situation,
thing.
wasn't it? But yeah, it's like he's just mad because he was denying the crack cocaine thing before, and then like someone posted videos like, yeah, okay, maybe I did. It's just like, but yeah, that story is brilliant. I love the fact he's going up for re-election as well.
Yeah, good on him.
Well, why not?
If he gets
Why
it,
not
why
at
not?
all?
Yeah. Have you heard about the Shia LaBeouf thing? He's
Yeah, I did see
retiring
you tweeted
from,
something, didn't you? About him
retiring from public life after plagiarism scandals sparks bizarre and also plagiarised apology spree.
So he's actually officially said it, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because this whole thing about Justin Bieber, he tweeted that he was retiring. And
Oh,
apparently that's
yeah.
not true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Fuck him.
But yeah, but
This is proper.
Is retiring from
public life, so probably just Twitter.
And
awards ceremonies,
yeah,
maybe.
not
I
going
don't
to
know.
awards ceremonies or premieres.
Yeah.
Just going to film his films and then stay at home.
This article, which is on The Independent, trustworthy.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
The signs were there as soon as the world learned that Shia LaBeouf had plagiarised his apology for plagiarising.
Oh my God.
The actor, who recently admitted he was asked to send pictures of his penis to producers to score a role in Lars von Trier's typically controversial new movie Nymphomaniac, has been locked in a cycle of media ridicule and bizarre reaction since it came to light he had plagiarised graphic novelist Daniel Clow's work in a short film called HowardCantor.com he made for Cannes Film Festival last year.
That Nymphomaniac, that's the one where the trailer was shown during
That's
the Disney
right,
film,
yeah,
isn't it? Yeah. But Daniel Clowes
was
wrote a story.
Yeah, wrote a short story which
Shia LaBeouf
ripped off and made into a film.
Right, okay.
For
Yeah,
Cannes
but I mean,
last year.
the thing is, it's films nowadays, all films are based on other films or stories. Like, there's no original idea.
No,
anymore.
not at all. But
I
this just
imagine
goes
it was
to,
just insane.
Like he said, the author Daniel Clowes said, "I actually can't imagine what was going through his mind." He said, upon noticing the imagery and dialogue in the 11-minute movie were incredibly similar to a personal story he had written called Justin M. Damiano. Clowes had not been credited.
Oh, okay.
Freshly rumbled, the former Disney star reacted to his anger with a series of apologetic tweets aimed at Clowes, in which he admitted his guilt and red-cheeked embarrassment. In my excitement and naivete as an amateur filmmaker, I got lost in the creative process and neglected to follow proper accreditation.
So he could have got away with it if he
just
based
credited
on a
it.
short
yeah,
story
exactly,
by...
which is what a lot of people do.
Yeah, so you don't even need to pay the author.
No,
As
I
long
don't
as
know
you
whether they
credit
get.
them.
I don't know whether they get some form of back end.
I suppose it depends if they're part of a union,
Yeah,
like the Writers Guild and things like that.
yeah, and then LaBeouf went on to say, "Copying isn't particularly creative work." No, true, very true. Well done. Being inspired by someone else's idea to produce something new and different is creative work.
Yes.
Based on.
Yeah, based
not
on,
ripped
not
off.
ripped off, not the same as.
Matters worsened still when BuzzFeed spotted that LaBeouf's tweeted messages on the subject closely resembled a post written 4 years ago on Yahoo Answers by a user named Lily. Determined to make amends, he then hired a skywriter to script an apology in Vapor. The 27-year-old then snapped and tweeted an image of the spectacle on New Year's Day along with 3 definitions of the word cloud. It sounds like he's gone mad.
Yeah, he's gone... Yes.
Just to make matters even worse, he came under fire again for lifting an entire tweet from Gucci Mane about drug addiction and skywriting without quoting or crediting the rapper. And then he upset Girls creator Lena Dunham too. Read more about that here. But it seems that his time has finally come for Shia to give up the game after he announced his retirement from public life on Twitter. He posted, "In light of the recent attacks against my artistic integrity, I'm retiring from all public life. My love goes out to those who have supported me."
I want to know what his Google search was to find these tweets.
I know.
Surely it takes more work to kind of go to Google, how to apologise for plagiarism, and find these tweets that have already been written.
Copy and paste.
And then this skywriting thing. He found a tweet about drugs and skywriting and copied that.
I know.
How can you...
It's insane, isn't it?
That takes more work. If he'd have just put that much effort into writing an original short story, he could have avoided this whole situation
It's
completely.
ridiculous. As of yet, no further
Boy
comment
definitely
has
meets
been
world.
given. Yeah. It's just
I don't know what that
weird.
means, but I wanted to make a Boy Meets World joke.
Well, why not?
Yeah.
As of yet, no further comment has been given by way of explanation as to what exactly retiring from public life will entail for the star. Most likely, he'll be leaving the world of social media for the foreseeable future. But equally, he could take said retirement one step further, cancelling press, scheduled appearances, and even premiere turns to live a secluded life away from the scrutinising glare of the media eye. Are we set to see him at all during awards season, or even ahead of the UK release of Nymphomaniac on the 21st of February? Time, it seems, will tell, as most probably will Twitter.
Because somebody else will write a tweet about it.
Yeah.
It's
It's just mad, isn't it? That he has ripped off someone's book to make a short film, hasn't bothered crediting them like you should do if you're making a film. And he's like a professional actor. He was brought up under Disney.
Yes.
So he should know the ins and outs of everything. Although those Disney kids often...
Once they leave the Disney contracts, they all go off the rails.
Yeah.
Because I think they've been so smothered by Disney, and like they've looked after every need they've got. Yes, you can have that. Yes, you can have that. As soon as they get out of that situation, they haven't got anyone there,
and they go mad. I mean,
and they
it's
have
like
to make
Britney
decisions
Spears
for themselves.
Went mental and shaved her hair off.
Christina Aguilera's been yo-yoing.
Yeah,
I think Justin Timberlake was Disney kid. He
doesn't seem to have stepped out of line.
I mean, well, he brought MySpace. I mean, that wasn't a very good
there,
decision. But he's been pretty.
You don't hear any controversy
no.
around Justin Timberlake, do you?
That was Shia LaBeouf.
But this guy, it's
amazing.
mad. Even his apologies are copied from somewhere, you know. Madness.
I'm going to apologise about ripping off your work by ripping off somebody else's work.
And then I've got to apologise to them. And now I'm going to rent a plane and a pilot to write things in the sky.
And I'm going to tweet about it, but I'm going to rip off somebody else.
Off a rapper.
Brilliant. He's fantastic.
Ah.
Oh, well. I don't care. You know, yes, he's mental, but he provides entertainment, doesn't he?
True.
He did wreck Transformers, though.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and Indiana Jones.
I haven't seen it. To be fair, I think I've only ever seen one Indiana Jones film. Yeah, possibly two.
They are good.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, I have heard. I do need to go and look at them. Have you heard about this commemorative £2 coins that the Mint are releasing?
No.
Over here, well, they're doing one that's got Lord
Sugar.
Kitchener.
Oh,
because it's the anniversary of the First World War.
Oh yes.
And the anniversary is lasting 5 years. Apparently, they're releasing these coins over 5 years.
Yeah,
commemorative
I
coins.
suppose the war lasted 5
Yeah.
years.
So, yeah, apparently it's not. People don't like it that it's about Lord Kitchener because they're saying it's quite. It promotes war and jingoism, and because he was responsible for concentration camps and things like that during the First World War. So people are like, well, no, that's just kind of like glamorizing war and things like that. He did a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
And because it's the Your Country Needs You poster.
Yeah,
That's what's on the back of the coin.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like it that he's doing. And they think that there's actually a petition. It's got just under 27,000 signatures, and it's probably more than that now, that they want Edith Cavill on the coins, and she was a nurse during the war, and she was martyred. She was killed for like treating soldiers without no matter what side of the war.
I see. Right.
So she was helping allies, and you know,
and the Axis.
And people think she should be on the coin because of her work, rather than Lord Kitchener, because he was responsible. Your Country Needs You was responsible for like 2.5 million volunteer soldiers. And they weren't told what it would entail being in the war. Right. And a lot of them weren't happy once they got into the army and volunteered.
No, this is true.
And a lot of them died. Yeah. And it's just like...
Yeah, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
But
those jingoism, they refer to it as...
Yeah, I mean, jingoism is... it's a form of jumped up national pride.
I actually researched... I was like, what does jingoism mean? So I looked it up so I understood what it was.
I studied it in history at school.
Yeah, so...
jingoistic things. It's like jumped up national pride.
It's not quite the BNP.
It's not quite racism.
Yeah, it's close to... It's like extreme
It's
patriotism.
whipping people up into a patriotic frenzy.
Yes.
Really. So that they are blinded by the fact that there's a horrible war on over in France. And they go, actually, I'm going to go out there and beat the Bosch.
And they get out there and they go, oh
my
shit.
God, what the fuck? My feet are rotting off. There's rats eating my
And that's what
beard.
they say. He was quite a jingoistic character, and he's responsible for a lot of deaths. But he did help.
But he did help the war effort. That's the thing. I mean,
people are saying that you should be recognising the people that fought in the war, the soldiers,
yeah, but
the nurses.
The thing about that is that you can't put them on the coin because they don't have a face. Do they?
Well, I mean, one person said, like, in Twitter, one person said, just put a poppy. Put a poppy on the coin. That, you know,
that's enough, isn't it? Because that is the remembrance thing, isn't
and that
it?
In this country, I don't know how it is around the world. That is a symbol for to remember all the soldiers in the war, which is why we have we wear the poppy
on the 11th of December, the Armistice
November.
Day. Sorry,
yeah.
Sorry, 11th of the 11th.
Yeah, that's why we wear poppies on. I can't remember which one you are there. We're peeking a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
No, we are both of us.
Okay.
I just heard it crackle. But yeah, so you know, perhaps put the poppy on there, perhaps put the nurse on there because she was helping everyone without regard of who they were fighting for.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, she had the better spirit, I suppose. Maybe.
I don't know.
Whereas
How
his
you
was
feel
slightly
about
more cynical. I don't know though, because the thing is, he was the face of a campaign, wasn't he? You know.
Yeah, I mean that
it's very, very iconic.
That poster has been.
And then the Americans took it for the Uncle Sam one, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it was the same design.
Exactly.
Your country needs you. Same slogan, everything.
Yeah, and it's been parodied in film, TV, everything. You know, it's quite an important campaign, and he was responsible for it. So
I didn't really know about the concentration camp thing.
yeah,
if I'm
it
honest.
was. Oh, I don't think I've got that article about him, but it was. See, I don't know if he was responsible for setting up the camp or he went over and kind of just let the camp carry on.
Right.
And I'm going to have to look for it. See, wiki, jingoism.
Yeah.
Come on. Herbert Kitchener. Lord Herbert. Is it? Yeah, Herbert Kitchener. First Earl of Kitchener. He, the boa.
Oh, right. Okay. So that's kind of in the tropics, isn't it?
I'll click on boa and see where it is.
I suppose that was... right.
Is the Dutch Africans word for farmer.
Boer. B-O-E-R.
B-O-E-R.
Yeah,
Sorry, Boer, yeah.
The Boer War.
Yeah, so I think there were concentration camps there that he kind of took over.
Okay, righto. Yeah, that was the late 1800s as well, the Boer War. And
perhaps that wasn't to do with the But
so
he
it's
helped
previous.
out there.
It's his previous that's
the
getting him
Second
in
Boer
trouble.
War.
There were two.
Apparently,
Oh, okay.
Lord Kitchener, as Chief of Staff 1900 to 02 in the Second Boer War.
Oh,
He played a key role in Lord Roberts' conquest of the Boer Republicans, then succeeded Roberts as Commander-in-Chief.
yeah.
By which time Boer forces had taken to guerrilla fighting and British forces imprisoned Boer civilians in concentration camps.
Ah, right, yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, our military and our kings and queens and politicians have got a lot of blood on their hands from the kind of empire days.
And I think that's what the public now are kind of like...
Everyone's
I think people
a bit
we're so
touchy
far
about
away
it.
from it now that it's kind of like, yeah, but he was responsible for a lot of people dying. And it's like, yeah, but...
Yeah, but if you
They
think
died
about
for
it,
a reason.
I mean, we're not talking about the Boer War, are we?
No.
On these
Well,
coins,
no.
we're talking about the First World War. And yeah, he was responsible for a campaign that led to millions signing up and millions losing their lives. But eventually, the war was won, wasn't it?
Yeah, and for the better.
Without all those people sacrificing their lives, maybe we wouldn't have.
No, exactly.
I don't know. It's a difficult one.
It is,
but
definitely.
I think the icon of the "We Want You"
Yes.
poster is a really strong visual kind of sign for the First World War. Like that is one of the lasting images from that war. That and maybe the barbed wire. You see no man's land. The trenches.
Yes.
And all that. I mean, yeah.
It is one of those difficult situations. It's the humanitarian and versus the patriot sort of thing. It's like,
and people being a little bit too touchy. About
human
things.
rights,
yeah.
isn't it? It's kind of like, but it was a long time ago, and it was necessary to some extent. Perhaps not to the extent it went concentration camps.
No,
as they are known.
But again, that's not to do with the First World War, is it?
No, but he was responsible for it. That's the problem. It's kind of, do you want a man that was responsible for bringing concentration camps to the world?
Yeah.
Apparently, that's what people have been saying. It's like,
were they as bad as the Nazi ones?
Exactly. That's the thing. It depends how bad the concentration camps were.
Yeah, I don't think they were Zyklon.
Oh, I don't think.
I don't think there were
think
showers and shit, were there? I mean, it wasn't genocide. It was just prisoner of war camps.
Yes, which
are kind of concentration campy.
I don't want to get into it. I don't know enough about it. Yeah, but it's
difficult.
Important. There's perhaps something everyone should know about.
I personally don't have an issue with him being on a coin.
No, well, I don't have an issue with that poster being on a coin at all.
That's it. Yeah, it's the poster more than the...
It's the poster more than the person, yes, exactly.
Like I say, I keep saying it's the
symbolism
icon.
rather than...
Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And
that stands now. Your country does need you.
Yeah.
It kind of stands now, not just for a war, but for upholding...
Just in general.
The country. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, fine. I'm fine with it.
I'm happy with it. As long,
But
like,
also,
the thing is, there's more coins planned, so they could put other people on there.
Put the nurse on it. Put a poppy on it. Put a donk on it.
Put a poppy on it. We're gonna have to find a good way to use put a poppy on it.
That's gonna be a thing now.
Yeah.
Put a poppy on it.
Fuck you know. I don't know. I actually read some funny news. I told you there was some like tragic but funny news that I read this morning. Who was it? Someone tweeted about it. Fuck it. They didn't tweet at us. It was a story that was. I think it was Kevin Smith actually.
Oh right.
I'm not going to read the title of the first paragraph because that gives it away.
Right.
But here we go.
Yep.
Bradley Davis, 33, was arrested Tuesday by Potawatomi.
Is it a word we can't pronounce again?
Potawatomi. Potawatomi.
Right. Okay then. Yep.
You're not going to try. No. You were going to try. No.
No.
County Sheriff's Department deputies and charged with murdering his 58-year-old stepfather.
Right.
Denver St. Clair.
Okay.
That is an awesome name.
Denver St. Clair.
Yeah. During a fight on December 21st, reports Reuters.
Mm-hmm.
According to the arrest affidavit, Reuters obtained... I'm going to read that sentence again. According to the arrest affidavit Reuters obtained, Davis claimed that during the fight, he knocked his father unconscious. Sorry, this isn't funny. It's the anticipation. I know what's coming.
Right, okay.
Then Davis grabbed St. Clair's underwear and gave him an atomic wedgie. Davis allegedly pulled the elastic waistband of St. Clair's underwear over his head and around his neck.
Oh my God.
So were undies really the murder weapon? Indeed, this scenario appears to be consistent with the findings of the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's Office, which reported asphyxiation and blunt force trauma as the causes of death.
So he choked on his own underwear and it...
Yeah, like he pulled it so far over his head and around his throat that he choked.
That's insane.
Like he throttled a man with his own underwear while he was still wearing it. It's horrible.
That's mad.
But like,
I never knew wedgies could get so lethal.
Wedgie.
Yeah.
I mean, wear tighter underwear.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Make sure your elastic's intact. Because there was that. Were you at Reading that year that Stuart?
No, that was the year before. That was the first year I was supposed to go because AFI were playing. And I didn't get tickets in time.
It was quite funny. It was the first year.
Whoa. Personal story.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
This hasn't happened for a long time.
No, this is true. We're going into anecdote territory.
Bloody hell.
Aruga. Where's the... Yeah. Oh, well. But yeah, it was Reading of 2005, Reading Festival of 2005.
2003.
Fuck yeah.
I remember that was the year I was supposed to go.
05 was the last time I went, actually. Yeah, 2003. Yeah, that's right. And I had just met Corky there. Essentially, Corky, for those of you who don't know, he was on episodes 2 and 5, I think, or 2 and 4, 3. He was on the BAFTA one.
He was on 3.5, yeah,
and 4 or
3.5 and 4, I think.
Yeah,
he was originally going to be part of the podcast.
Yeah,
but that 2003 Reading was the inception of
our band.
You being the singer, because it was before he went. We had started playing, jamming together, and it was like, I met a guy at Reading who would be cool. I don't know if he can sing.
Who said he said he wanted to sing, but I don't know if he can.
Pretty much. It was like, so let's get him down and try. Like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
This was the inception of us, really, wasn't it?
It was,
really?
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so there was another friend of ours, Stuart, who I hadn't met at that point. I don't know who did it to him. I can't remember now.
I think it was Corky.
Well, it could have been Corky. I can't remember. But he gave him a pretty intense wedgie. And he actually passed out for hours.
He passed out through pain. And didn't they have to take him to the medical tent because of that?
Yes.
Or was that
because we got a little bit worried. And also he started to... he started to shit paste poo.
How is that?
As he described it at the time. I remember the phrase. I don't know whether that was...
I know that feeling.
Yeah. I don't know whether that was to do with the wedgie or whether that was to do with
shock.
Alcohol and bad...
Probably a combination. Food. It's like through shock I think from the pain, because obviously
Blunt
the
force
pain.
trauma to the rectum.
Was it his ass or was it his bollocks?
I
thought it was his bollocks.
I don't know.
Like because they
I
got
quite
crushed so
possibly,
badly.
yeah.
He passed out through that pain. Obviously, that pain causing shock, passing out, paste poo.
But ever the opportunists. Myself and Corky went off to find the medical people.
Yeah.
Because they were around, and we were like, "Oh, can we get a stretcher so we can stretcher him over because he's
Yes,
passed
I was
out."
totally forgot about this story.
And with the pretext of like, we'll get the stretcher and we'll go and get Stuart eventually, but first we'll go to the people who are selling the chilled boxes of beer and get a couple of crates on
carry
the,
them back on the stretcher.
carry them back to the campsite.
It'll be good for another 20 minutes or so.
Then get Stuart and take him to the medical people because he's passed out and shitting through the eye of a needle.
That's incredible. That's like that story. I don't know if I told you on the podcast that story about my brother when he was out clubbing one night and he got into a fight with a guy outside the club.
Yeah.
It was like around the back of the club or something. And my brother ended up kicking him so hard that, like, you know, his shoes used to have the metal buckles on them.
Yeah.
My brother started kicking him so often so hard that he actually broke the metal buckle on his shoe.
Fuck.
And then when the ambulance comes to get the guy, like they beat him up, then called an ambulance. You would. And one of my brother's friends lives up near the hospital. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I know him. Can I jump in the ambulance with him, please?" And like he went, "Stop, I live around here." He jumped out of the ambulance, like on the way up to hospital. So what? That's mental. It's a bit more extreme.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like taking advantage of a situation.
Yeah,
There's an ambulance. I need to get home. I live near the
I don't
hospital.
want to pay for a taxi.
I live near the hospital, so I might as well jump in.
This guy's unconscious. He's not going to argue the case that we were the ones who beat him up.
It's been a very, very long time since my brother's been in a fight at all, actually. I think
He
the last thing
was a bit
was...
of a hellraiser, wasn't he?
He was in his younger days.
Yeah.
He's a lot better now. Much better, in fact. He's quite an important job and stuff. But the last altercation he got into was... when me and my ex broke up. And she broke up with me for another guy, basically. My brother saw them in a club one night. He didn't hurt the guy, he just pushed him across the club. You know, my brother's a big lad.
Yeah,
He pushed the guy and the guy went flying, apparently. Yeah.
Oh, well. Welcome.
So, that was the last altercation I think I've heard he got into, was just defending my honour. Which is pretty cool.
That's fair enough, I suppose.
Gotta love that.
Yeah.
Because I'm a pussy and I couldn't do it myself, so...
But fuck it, you know, whatever.
I don't know. But awesome. Anecdotes, man.
I think we should do more. If there are any more.
Yeah, I don't know if there are any more.
I think they need to come up naturally like that. That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. It linked him.
We're going to do that last.
Yeah, last news story
turn
now
this down.
because of my love of North Korea. Obviously, we've been bringing the North Korean news
the
back.
front one.
It is the front one. And ex-basketball player, current. He's not in the NBA anymore, is he? He's a celebrity now. Dennis Rodman, Kim Jong-il's best friend, and now Kim Jong-un's best friend.
Yeah, I made a point of turning off my ears when Tom was listening to this earlier.
He and 9 other ex-NBA basketball stars have gone out to North Korea to train the North Korean basketball team.
Okay.
As I suppose an act of diplomacy, I guess.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of money involved.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, yeah. I don't know. But
or Dennis Rodman's got some shit on all of them, and he said, "You come and help my friend, otherwise your secrets will get out."
Yeah, exactly. And they are good friends, apparently. Kim Jong Un and Dennis Rodman.
Yes.
Because the Kims are a little bit US-ophiles, aren't they? They like their films and they like their basketball and they like baseball and stuff like that. You know, they're big.
That family,
yeah.
They're big on
I mean, he's allowed
Western.
his aunt to carry on running the burger chain, the single restaurant burger chain. In Pyongyang.
She's been allowed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Despite
even though he
her
killed his
husband being
uncle.
bad blood.
Because you know they love American things. They're
Sorry,
mental.
I'm going to text her back later. Just text me, Barney.
That's cool.
It's fine.
So basically, yeah, Dennis Rodman was asked by a news anchor in America, CNN news anchor, Chris Como, like
Como.
the guy from
I would say
Weezer.
Como, yeah.
Yeah. And after Chris Como asked if he would speak up for the family of Kenneth Bay. Now, Kenneth Bay is a North Korean American diplomat.
Okay, yeah.
Who has been locked up by the Kim regime for doing something or other. It doesn't actually say in this article. And what Rodman says doesn't really, bring the counterpoint. But basically, Rodman got very, very angry at being asked this because he's not a diplomat. And he's right, to be fair.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make a hell of a lot of sense, as you're going to hear here. And I don't know what's happened to Dennis Rodman because I don't remember him ever speaking like this. I would imagine drugs have happened to Dennis Rodman. And alcohol. Yeah,
because it's not like he's an American football player, so it's not head trauma or anything like that, is it? I mean, they do get knocked about, but
it's not a contact sport, though, is it?
No.
But yeah, have a listen to this as the interview escalates into a slanging match.
Awesome.
It's good. 2 minutes. I love it when YouTube doesn't just play.
It's not even buffering; it's buffered. Oh.
Oh dear.
You have to refresh the page.
Oh, you fuck. Right. Okay.
We'll try again.
Well, yeah. I mean, and also for yourself, keep an eye on the guys in the background of the shot, because they all, I mean, compared to Rodman's in a pretty flamboyant jacket with studs all up on the shoulders. He's got his aviators on.
Wasn't he like a cross-dresser?
Yeah, he married Carmen Electra, didn't he, at one point? And he went down the aisle dressed as a woman. But all the other guys, everyone's wearing suits. He's wearing quite a loud shirt with
it's like he looks like he's got a nice blazer on, but then he's got studs.
Yeah.
And then he's got a nice loud shirt on.
And he's got all his piercings in and his baseball hat and his aviators on indoors. None of the rest of them have, But this is it. Hopefully this will work this time.
Fingers crossed.
Let's go. And now.
You do have a relationship with this man. You've said it many times. We've seen it demonstrated for whatever reason.
Yes.
Are you going to take an opportunity, if you get it, to speak up for the family of Kenneth Bay and to say, let us know why this man is being held, that this is wrong, that he is sick? If you can help, Dennis, will you take the opportunity?
Watch this. The one thing about politics, Kenneth Bay did one thing. If you understand, I got it. If you understand what Kenneth Bay did, do you understand what he did?
What did he do? You tell me.
Country.
You tell me. What did he do?
And no. You tell me. You tell me. Why is he held captive?
They haven't released any charges. They haven't released. They haven't released any reason.
Listen. Let me do this. I would love to speak on this.
Go ahead.
You got 10 guys here. 10 guys here that have left their families, left their damn families to help this country as a sports venture. Got 10 guys, all these guys here. Do anyone understand that?
We do, and we appreciate that, and we wish them well with cultural exchange.
No. I'm just saying, I don't give a I don't give a rat's ass what the hell you think. I'm saying to you, look at these guys here. Look at them.
Yeah, but Dennis, don't put it on them. Don't use them as an excuse for the behavior that you're putting on yourself.
They came here.
You just basically were saying that Kenneth Bay did something wrong. We don't even know what the charges are. Don't use these guys as a shield for you, Dennis.
Listen.
Ain't no shield. I got it. Let me do this. Really, I'm gonna tell you one thing. People around the world, I'm gonna do one thing. You guy behind the mic right now, we are the guys here doing one thing. We have to go back to America and take the abuse. Do you have to take the abuse? Well, we're gonna take it. Do you, sir? Let me know. Are you gonna take that abuse? We're gonna get it. But guess what, though? One day, this door is gonna open.
One day the door is going to open. Wow.
So
he started off.
Do?
Well, we don't know.
I love the guys like, listen. No, let me speak. I want to do this.
It's brilliant. But yeah, I don't know what Kenneth Bay did because the North Koreans won't say.
Yeah.
Dennis Rodman seems to think that he's done something bad but won't also say it. Then he's accusing the
they've
guy
gone
on
out there.
CNN for saying that Kenneth Bay did something and why is he locked up, but he doesn't know why.
He was asking Dennis
But
Rodman
he does know why. But,
And did he say Christmas as well?
I don't know.
He said Christmas at some point.
Something like that. Yeah.
And these guys have come out here.
These guys have come
Christmas.
out here. Christmas. Away from their families.
Are you going to take the abuse? Because we're going to take the abuse.
What, for going out to North Korea over Christmas to teach them how to play and not actually... You're going to get abuse.
He's insane.
Yeah.
It's totally
Something has snapped somewhere on that man.
Okay, I don't know. Did you want
Yes.
to start a new bit this week?
I can do. I certainly can. I can introduce a bit. I'm not going to go straight into something that's brilliant.
Yeah.
We've come up with a new bit. It's not the bit that we've been trailing.
No,
really.
No, it's not actually. It's not. But that bit's coming as well.
But it is a new bit.
Just really fast the audio, yeah.
Oh yes. Have you
But
turned
I've
it
turned
down?
it down, yeah. Yeah, this is a new bit. We were quite productive last week. We recorded 2
We were,
theme
yeah.
tunes.
We were going to do a banked episode, but we just made theme tunes to the 2 new bits that we've got coming up. And
This week's one.
This week's one.
Should we let the theme speak for itself as well?
Yeah, why not?
Let's play the theme.
Okay.
Let's let it speak for itself.
Yes.
I hope the volume's alright. It was.
Thomas is reading my biography. Thomas is reading my biography. And I wonder to myself, why is he doing this? 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 Why is he doing it? Why is he doing it? Why is he doing it? Please don't read this. And I'll tell you why I'm doing it, Morrissey.
It's incredible.
It's because I got your autobiography for Christmas and I really like it and I want to read parts of it because your mind.
I think that's the first time
mad.
Tom's heard that since last week, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was my Morrissey impression, and I shall be reading extracts from his autobiography that is simply titled Morrissey Autobiography,
Published by
Penguin Classics, because it's a modern masterpiece.
Is it a classic?
I think it is personally. Yeah, I got this for Christmas. It's how many pages long is it? Let's have a look. It's 457 pages long. He's got a lot to talk about as Morrissey. He's had an in-depth life. Hopefully, I'll get to the meet his murder bit at some point. But
yeah.
I'm what am I at the moment? I'm 137 pages in.
Right.
And he's not even.
Not mentioned
18.
veganism at all.
He's not even 18 yet.
Oh, of course he's mentioned veganism. It's Morrissey.
Actually, he hasn't. I don't think.
Oh, really?
Yet. No,
Jesus.
no. But reading this book is very much like reading the lyrics to his songs. It's all very verbose.
No, I mean his songs are a narrative as well. So
yeah, this is true.
like literal narratives.
Yes. I mean, for the example, he I'm just going to read the intro, I think, today.
Yeah.
Because it's all about Manchester. And I think it's quite beautiful because of the language that he uses. I'm going to try and do the impression. Right, here goes. We'll see if we can keep
But
this
does
up.
he speak like he sings?
I don't know.
But
But
you're
going to
speak like he sings.
Yeah. And I would like to reiterate to Penguin Classics and Morrissey that I am a fan and I'm
Yes.
doing this simply as an homage.
Yes.
It's not taking the piss.
No. But you are going to Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. My childhood is streets upon streets upon streets, streets to define you and streets to confine you, with no sign of motorway, freeway or highway. Somewhere beyond hides the treat of the countryside for hour-less days when rains and rains lift. That's rains, R-A-I-N-S, and rains, R-E-I-N-S.
Oh, okay.
Permitting us not to permitting us to be amongst people who live surrounded by space and are irked by our faces. Until then, we live in forgotten Victorian knife-plunging Manchester, where everything lies wherever it was left over 100 years ago. The safe streets are dimly lit by others, not lit at all, but both represent danger that you're asking for should you find yourself out there once curtains have closed for tea. Past places of dread we walk in the centre of the road. looking up at the torn wallpapers of browny blacks and purples as the mournful remains of a derelict shoulder-to-shoulder houses, their safety now replaced by trepidation. Local kids ransack empty houses, and small and wide-eyed I joined them, balancing across exposed beams and racing into wet black cellars, underground cavities where murder and sex and self-destruction seep from cracks of local stone and shifting brickwork, where aborted babies have found deathly peace instead of unforgiving life. Half felled by the local council, houses are then left slowly crumbling and become croft waste ground for children to find new excitements with no light for miles. Fields are placed in books, and books are placed in libraries. We, though, are out here in the now, unchecked and ungoverned. Manchester's Victorian generation having coughed to their deaths after lifetimes of struggle, and these waterlogged alleys have occasional shafts of greeny yellow grass jutting between flagstones that have cracked under duress like the people who tread them. Here, behind shelves of shabby shops that foul animal waste waft from, which no one can fail but to cover their mouths as they race past. These black entries, once so dutifully swept and swilled and donkey-stoned to death by the honest poor, have now no future. For this now is their future, that moment when time runs out. Like us, these streets are left to their own stark destiny. Birds abstain them their song in post-war industrial Manchester, where the 1960s will not swing, and where the locals are the opposite of worldly. More brittle and less courteous than anywhere else on earth, Manchester is the old fire wheezing its last, where we all worry ourselves soulless, forbidden to be romantic. The dark stone of terraced houses is black with soot, and the house is a metaphor for the soul, because beyond the house there is nothing, and there are scant communications to keep track of anyone should they leave it. You bang the door behind you and you may be gone forever, or never seen again. Oh, untraceable you. The ordinary process of living takes up everyone's time and energy. The elderly muse in bitter ways, and their kids now know too much of the truth already. Unfathomably, as we fester, there are casinos and high living elsewhere, first-class travel and money to burn. Here, no one we know is on the electoral roll, and a journey by car is as unusual as space travel. Prison is an accepted eventuality and is certain to turn you into a criminal. Penalties assessed, arrears called in, and dodging life bullets is known as survival. It is only ever a question of when. And then he goes on to his birth. Naturally, my birth almost kills my mother, for my head is too big. But soon it is I, and not my mother, on the critical list at Salford's Pendlebury Hospital. I cannot swallow, and I spend hours hospitalised, my stomach ripped open, my throat pulled wide. My parents are warned that I am unlikely to survive. Disappearing beneath a mass of crisscross blanket stitches, I grip onto the short life that has already throttled me. It's just, and it goes on like that.
It's like, it is like you say, it is beautiful writing. It's almost Dickensian.
I think it's brilliant writing.
It is almost Dickensian, but it's like really depressing.
Really, really depressing. Yeah, that's how he chooses to describe his hometown and his birth.
Yeah, looks back on it fondly.
Yes,
I've noticed what you said about there being like no paragraphs, no.
Yeah, there's
nothing.
there's no chapters and very few line breaks, so it's very difficult to know when to stop.
Yeah, it is stunning. Like the way he writes is.
I like it. I like the way he writes, but it took a lot of reading first off to actually get into
Going
it.
back over it and over it and over it. To actually
Now I'm
listen.
hoping that there are going to be some very. I've already found some bits that I find entertaining,
Yes.
but I just wanted to give a taste,
Yeah.
really, of the way that it's written.
It's another book that I probably will add to my list of books. I'll just keep adding and adding and adding books.
There is a bit about him being pushed into the Leaf Street baths, the swimming pool, where his school went. It's brilliant. Where is it? At Trafford Park Baths, I had gone to watch my father swim. Whilst cheering from the sides, I am pushed into the deep end by a brutally sallow teenage boy, whom my father then neatly chinned. I was small and I couldn't swim, and the panicked roll to the corn-plastered depths terrified me for years after. This ringing hum of panic returned at Leaf Street baths on our induction day, and I refused to jump into the pool. Ever-present Miss Dudley made no effort to understand the secret agony of a troubled child. I was lifted up and thrown into the water in an act that, these days, would count as extreme physical and psychological assault.
Oh my god,
I love
that's
it,
fantastic.
Yeah, for more of that, buy it. It's
Definitely.
only it's fairly cheap, and you'll be able to find it on Amazon.
Yes, you can.
Which, if you go to our website abhpod.com, you will find there is a banner to go to Amazon where you can purchase the book.
Yes.
And we get a tiny bit of money from your purchase, which will
Yes.
keep us going and
Which you
has
have
kept
to,
us
yes.
going. So we thank you for all your spending over Christmas and
Yes,
New Year.
again, we have to thank you for that because it has paid for our
For
part of the
our
hosting.
yes, it has indeed. So yes, but that is a feature that will come in. And I was hoping actually that the theme tune wasn't going to be longer than the extracts that I was reading out, but I think I've managed to surpass
I think you managed
that.
to do that. Yeah.
I don't know about the accent, but we'll see
Work on it,
how
I
that
think.
goes.
There's a few things. Well, last week you mentioned you were doing the Hobbit thing.
Yes.
Several people have disagreed with you on that.
Yeah, they have.
I bumped into Loz last night.
Okay.
Yesterday, Loz was on one of our episodes
Way back.
a while ago. Go and find that somewhere.
Yeah, go back. I think it's
don't know
like
what episode
episode. It's
It's in the
pre-10,
teens,
isn't it?
Is it? I thought. I don't know.
Oh. No, it was around about the time that Ben was on, and Ben was on the 10th
Ben was
episode.
10, wasn't it? Oh,
so
yeah,
he
so
was
he's actually
9,
before.
I think.
Yes,
or
so yeah,
11.
go back. It's in the first 10.
Yeah.
But we bumped into him. He said he disagrees with you. He loved it.
Okay.
Um,
I am open to being disagreed with.
Yes, that's fine.
And I know
people
that
like different things.
Yeah.
Some people are more into The Hobbit.
and maybe
Lord
I
of the
just
Rings.
wasn't in the mood for it on the day.
That is the thing.
you know.
I found with Lord of the Rings and stuff. You need to be
Yeah.
up for watching it. But
Yeah.
you had a particular problem that you did mention at the start, but we never actually got around to.
This is very true. Yeah, I said that my main problem was with the title itself, which is Desolation of Smaug. Now, again, I mentioned that it was on my blog,
Yes.
which now I don't have up, which is very
you looking
good.
for
But,
the
but
Oxford?
basically, the definition of the word desolation is empty and lonely, or complete destruction,
Yes.
and desert-like conditions. Where things are left to rack and ruin. None of which is true of any of the story, especially Smaug.
Yeah.
Smaug is not lonely
He's quite content.
He's
from what I remember
content.
from the book, he's content to live on his own
with his
among the gold.
riches, in the place that he has taken from the dwarves, and hasn't destroyed in any way. He's just filled it full of treasure.
Yes.
He's not sad. He's not lonely. He is alone, but he's not lonely.
Yes.
He also doesn't desolate anything,
Yep.
and nor does anyone desolate him.
Yes.
There is no desolation done in the entire film
With regard to Smaug.
with regard to the dragon.
Yes. He. So very poorly titled.
Yeah, I think so. The third film should probably have been entitled The Desolation of Smaug, because it looks like he's about to go and and fuck up Lake Town.
Yeah. And
then all the rest of it, and
Yeah,
then there will
so-
be, the eventual thing.
But
But
you
yeah,
didn't-
I understand that people don't feel the same way as me. Maybe I would feel differently seeing it on a day where I actually wanted to watch some
Yeah.
Hobbits. I thought I was in the mood for it. I wanted to see the dragon more than anything else, and I enjoyed that bit.
Yeah. So.
But yeah,
People have their reasons.
yeah. All opinion is valid.
Also, good to know that Loz was on one of the first 10 episodes, and he's still listening today.
Yeah, which is nice.
It's awesome.
So thanks, Loz.
Yeah, because Liz and I took Chloe to BBC Stargazing event.
Oh yeah.
At Moat Park. Wasn't what we expected at all.
No.
We were expecting like Brian May to be
I
there
assume,
live
yeah, I was
via
gonna
satellite,
say,
and
yeah.
it wasn't that. It was the hall with a
Oh,
few
right.
tables, and they
Oh,
were doing
really?
science shows, and they did have telescopes. I looked at Jupiter last night through
Oh,
a
yeah. Mm-hmm.
telescope with its 4 main moons, nicely lit up, which was awesome. That was the best part of it. The rest of it,
Yeah.
we went into the Astrodome, like the planetarium thing.
Thing is, you got to be at
Couldn't
John.
understand the guy.
No.
and it was like a light shining through lots of holes in a cylinder. And it was like, if we could understand it, it would have been good. I think the difficulty we had was we were there with Chloe, and she was a bit under the weather, to be fair.
Right.
She wasn't enjoying it, and she kept talking to me. And then Liz's friend was there with her kid, and they kept talking. Liz's friend kept talking, and I was like, I'm trying to. This interests me. I'm trying to pay attention. I can't concentrate. But you know, it was good. I did enjoy it a bit, but I'm just glad it was a free event.
Yeah.
But we bumped into Loz there, and we came out of the planetarium bit.
Okay.
It was one of those inflatable ones, like the
planetarium.
The pop-up planetarium. What is that from? I did
South
that last
Park.
night. It is planetarium.
Planetarium.
Yeah, I did that last night. I couldn't remember what it was from. But yeah, so we crawled out of this planetarium, and Loz was stood there, and I was just listening to you on the way down. Awesome. But yeah, so where was I going with that? Just bumped into Loz. I think that was where I was going.
Yeah,
But the BBC
and
Stargazing
he
was
disagreed
interesting.
with my Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. He thoroughly enjoyed it. But like you said, I said, there's people that are more into it. Like you've read the book and you enjoyed the book.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. But, you know.
And like I said, I think I need to go back and reread The Hobbit, perhaps.
Yes, perhaps. But, we'll get, we're an hour, we've got about 10 minutes. We'll go social media things, I suppose, because we need to mention.
I've had a few very nice messages over the holiday period from the guys at Nerd Church.
Yes, yeah, they did emailed us.
Sean especially,
Facebook.
and Miles.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, Miles.
Miles has been emailing us.
Yes. Oh, sorry. Yeah, emailing us the last week or so. I
Yeah,
thought you were
yeah.
talking about over the holidays.
Well, yeah, it was
Yeah.
all, you know.
But stuff, yeah. Sean and Miles, we had a long email conversation about. Well, it started about disagreeing with our views on Frozen and The Hobbit,
And then it
actually.
turned into tea.
Turned it into tea. I told him how to make a cup of tea, which he said was delicious.
Yes.
And then it went on to other things. Yeah, so that was quite fun. Like, it's good having that interaction.
Yeah.
And I listened to the latest Drunk Geek, and
Yes.
my mind was blown again because they said, like, if you don't listen to Drunk Geek on Nerd Church, you really need to, because Nerd Church was saying a few weeks ago how they'd help us get out there if we needed them to.
Yeah.
And then, like, this week, Drunk Geek have said they'd also help us to get out there, and then they'd drive down and meet us there or whatever.
Which
and it
is
was just like,
ridiculous, isn't it?
I sat down with you, recorded that first half-hour episode, and was like, it was kind of.
This is our
It's a bit
podcast,
weird, isn't it?
and-
Yeah. And now, like, people are offering to help us get to America
And this is what
because we sit and chat.
Yeah, this is what
It's
Sean and Michael
absolutely
were saying to me
crazy.
over on Facebook. Is like, you know, you've got American listeners who are fans of you guys and who prioritize your podcast. You know, who can't wait for your next episode. And I bet you could never imagine that would have happened
No,
a
not
year
at
ago.
all.
And it's ridiculous. It's crazy.
It was odd having our friends listen to us, and now there's people that we now consider friends.
We are now friends with, but have never met.
Yeah, and
And
it's like, what?
yeah, it's really odd. Really
It
odd,
is.
but
It's-
great at the same time. And
We
this
do
is,
really
and if
appreciate
nothing
everything.
else, actually, that's one of the best things about being in this podcasting community, I think.
Yes.
Isn't it? Because everyone's very open and friendly, and
It's like-minded as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
About a majority of things, and we disagree with other things, but we can have conversations.
you can have
about
debates
it.
about it, can't you? Yeah. And even it was Joe's birthday yesterday,
Yes.
and everyone from Twitter kind of, you know, had their little birthday message.
For Joe, yeah, that was.
And
pretty
she
cool.
was very touched by that as well. She's
Yeah.
not here at the moment to actually say that on air.
But yeah,
But she was very touched by everyone who messaged her on Twitter,
Yeah.
because she thinks that Twitter is actually more personable than Facebook.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I knew I chose the wrong platform to sing my happy birthday.
Oh, is that what you did yours?
Yeah, it was on Facebook.
Oh no. I mean, it's just that thing of on Facebook, you get that notification at the top, and you just go, "Oh, happy birthday!" I haven't spoken to
Yeah.
you for like fucking months or whatever.
Facebook is the one where people that you don't interact with, you say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Twitter is the one where you generally.
I think
'cause there's no reminder on Facebook. It's like, oh, it's so and so's birthday. Say happy
Yeah.
birthday. So people do it on Twitter. People actually have to know it's
Yeah,
your birthday.
Yeah. Because I think last year on my birthday, I got some ridiculous amount of comments
From people you don't.
from
know.
people I haven't spoken to since school. you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. It's very strange.
And
it
why
is.
they're on there, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, and we're constantly getting new followers as well. We're up over 300 followers now.
Yes, so welcome to all the new people.
Yes, definitely.
And thank you for staying on, all those who've been with us since the beginning.
Oh, definitely. If you were in the first sort of 10 followers, awesome.
Yeah. Well, because we've got new followers. Or listeners, sorry.
Actually. One particular new follower I was going to mention is it's a guy who in the summer, I think last year, was going to start a documentary about people that podcast. And he didn't ever. He went to Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and unfortunately, no one ever got around to it. It's Bulldog Mouth Productions, isn't it?
Yeah, Bulldog with 2 G's.
Yes, Bulldog with 2 G's, BULLDOGG. But his Twitter handle was podpeopledoc.
Yeah,
and he added this the other day, and then Tom said, "Oh, what's this documentary about?" And he said, like, "Oh, it never got off the ground, really, blah blah blah." And then I emailed and said, "Oh, well, if it does ever go, we'd be interested in being a part of it."
Yeah.
And that kind of, I think, reignited his fire.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And I mean, you pointed out.
Yeah, I pointed him towards another follower we got last week, which was Podfund, which is like a crowdfunding
like a
website
Kickstarter
for podcasting or video podcasting or blogging, vlogging and all that sort of thing. It's new media, they call it. They haven't launched yet. They launch in March, but you can actually put your campaign forward for review now, and they've actually accepted this Pod People doc.
Oh, right.
So it looks
that's
like
really
going
good.
ahead.
Yeah.
That looks like it's going ahead. So I did definitely go and... Because the podcast is called Pod People Documentary... Podcast People. So you go and follow Pod People Doc and Pod Fund to keep updated with it, because I think we're going to be a part of it, and I think History of Misunderstanding have put forward their interest to him as well.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's going ahead. We
Which
don't
is
know
good.
when yet, but... I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, certainly.
I'd love to get involved in it.
And if he wanted...
Yeah, we could be the UK crew.
We've done filming before, haven't we?
Yes.
We know how to do...
We can get someone who knows how to frame things
We
very well as
certainly
well.
can, yeah. We've done documentary, in fact, before.
Yes.
We've had a go at documentary.
Yeah.
So, if
you don't get enough money to have the plane journey over to England, we'd be quite happy.
Yeah, because also that would link into meeting up with other British podcasters as well. I mean,
yeah, it's very true.
We could travel up to York to visit Smokey and Stephen. We could try and find more British podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, like Smokey and Stephen know a lot of podcasters up that way, or a couple up that way, and
we've got obviously the Stinking Paws guys down here, and it's just it would be interesting to see the kinds of people that are doing it and why we are doing it. When we
I think that's the most interesting story is the amateurs.
Getting no financial benefit out of it, but it's more of a personal benefit, I think.
Yeah, and if you do know any podcasters that we never mention on this show, get them, make them aware, point them towards Pod People Doc as well.
Yeah.
Because,
definitely.
you go on YouTube, if you look up Podcast People, and I think a Podcast People documentary or something like that, there is a trailer. There's a trailer which for some reason I can't get to work, but then there is a short clip of him interviewing somebody. Yeah, that's right. And it looks really good. It's really well done, and it does make me want to watch more. Yeah. So definitely check those guys out.
And once it's up and running on their crowdsourcing thing, obviously we'll give the link out.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely
for people to donate and stuff.
Totally.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
And if you need us to sort of supply any kind of rewards, we could do something. We could record personal things.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, because it's what it's all about. It's community, isn't it? So,
we'll all help him out.
Yeah.
Try and get him to his goal.
I like it a lot.
That's interesting.
We had a tweet from Sean.
Niall. Oh yeah. I always read it as Niall, but it's not, is it?
I don't know.
Neil Sean from...
God, it's so far back.
From Nashcast.
Niall Sean, NIAL.
It's spelled that, but they say Neil.
Neil Sean.
On the...
Yeah.
I
don't know. Sorry, mate. He tweeted us, and basically he's been starting from the beginning.
Oh, it sounds that way, doesn't it? Yeah.
Because he said that Tom's story about listening to Madonna at the gym is gold, pure comedy gold, laughed my arse off.
That was on episode 2, wasn't it?
That was episode 2, yeah. So he's listening right the way back.
Yeah, so
and
if you
I
haven't
applaud
heard
you,
episode 2,
sir.
go listen to episode 2.
Episode 2, I think, was our high water mark.
Yeah. Definitely go listen to that. And, take part in what Tom asked you to do in that episode as well.
Yes, yeah. There's still I didn't get very many, if any at all, songs for my pervy playlist.
Yeah, it's inappropriate gym songs, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Inappropriate gym songs. Basically, what happened was I was listening to Madonna. I can't remember which song it was. Justify My Love.
Justify My Love, that's it.
And yeah, strange things happened. Go back to episode 2 and listen to the story.
And I'll tell a story about my peen
Indeed,
as well.
you do, yeah. Yeah, and I asked for recommendations of other songs that might get me in the mood in the gym.
Not for working out either.
No.
But yeah, definitely go and listen to that and let us know what you think. Like, put up with the quality as well. Yeah. If you can.
Yeah, it's not as good quality as it is now. That was a weird one as well, listening to Nashcast's latest.
Yeah, actually mentioning Nashcast.
Yeah, they had an emailer, a Paul Wintle, who apparently listened to them through us.
Yeah, when we mentioned
Yeah, which is weird because his name rang a bell and I was like, who is that? Because I don't know anyone called Paul Wintle.
But you've heard the name.
But I've heard the name, and you had the same feeling, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I think it's someone that works with Joe, or has worked with Joe. He doesn't work there anymore at the school that she works at. Yeah. But it would be interesting to know whether that is you, Paul,
yeah, email us.
Or whether it's another Paul Wintle. So, give us an email at abhpod@gmail.com.
Are you ever going to get used to that?
No, I'm not. I was going to say abhpod.com.
Yeah, abhpod@gmail.com.
Yeah. Or give us a tweet or a Facebook message or something,
Yeah, anyone can do that.
Yeah, and in fact, you should. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we like to talk to people, as we've just pointed out in the last 5 minutes.
Yes.
It's all about community and it's all about,
interaction.
Interactivity, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like we say, get in touch with us, abhpod@gmail.com, abhpod on Twitter.
abhpod on Facebook, in fact.
ABH Podcast on YouTube.
Yes. We added
if you want to watch us.
Yes, if you want to watch us.
We've ignored you, I know.
Yeah, I know. We haven't looked at the camera very much this episode.
I did a couple of times. But
I need to start doing that some more.
Creepy. This is good for the
audio. But yeah, and you can find us on, Stitcher Radio and
iTunes,
Pocket Cast.
Pocket Casts, yeah, iTunes.
Yeah, go and give us a rating and review and all the rest of it on iTunes. Go to iTunes and actually review us and give us some star ratings. You don't have to write anything; you can just do the stars.
Yes.
Because that helps us.
Yeah, comment on YouTube as well. Interactions on YouTube.
Thumbs up or thumbs down.
Or thumbs down.
If
you want,
it's up to you.
As long as you give us a good review.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you can tell us we're shit, just click the thumb up.
Yeah.
And you can tell us we're shit on iTunes, but give us 5 stars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That might be interesting.
Yeah, just give us a really rubbish review.
Slate us and give us a good rating there.
Because it's been a while since we had our troll.
Yeah, it's been too long. I've missed
I miss it.
Oh, actually, on second viewing of Frozen, I watched it a second time. We said about how did he end up living with the trolls?
Yeah.
When he was a kid,
he
leans on a boulder and goes, trolls. And then it turns into troll and she goes, oh, you two are cute. I'm going to keep you.
Oh, that's true.
Which I totally forgot.
Yeah.
So that's why he was with the trolls.
Okay.
I watched it and went, oh, that's how he ended up living with them.
Right. I see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So.
We got to the bottom of that.
Yeah, there we go. Anyway.
Awesome. Well, what have we learnt today? Dennis Rodman's mental.
Yep. And
podcasting communities are great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay podcast.
Yay
Boo
podcast.
Dennis Rodman and North Korea.
Yeah. So for anyone over here this week, I've been Tom.
I've been
Bye. Bye.